Hi, I'm David O'Neill, the inventor and designer of the BuzzzMaster. The BuzzzMaster is a patent-protected warm-up device and embouchure training tool for all brass players, from cornet to tuba. See, the reason why I invented it was because I had found times that when I showed up for a concert or an appearance, I didn't have time to warm up. And there's times where if you don't warm up, you're not as flexible as you need to be, and you get kind of stiff. And we are creatures of habit, and as brass players, if you don't warm up and you're stiff, you have a tendency to pull in, and you can actually do damage to your tissues and to your embouchure and your chops. And so I searched and researched to try to find a way that I could come up with something that would help me and allow me the opportunity to warm up without my horn before I got to my presentation. And so I came up with the BuzzzMaster. And the way the BuzzzMaster works is you put your own mouthpiece inside the end of the BuzzzMaster. That way it keeps natural. And we formed it to where there's an arc on the inside, internally. So when you buzz into the BuzzzMaster, the air hits the arc, and a certain portion of the air actually reverses and comes back to you. And what the air reversal does is it causes a simulated resistance in your embouchure and your chops that would be the same as your instrument. So now you can warm up without your horn anywhere you want to go. It's portable. You could be in your car, you could be in a hotel room, you could be next door, you could be in another room and not disturb the neighbors, because it's almost like a silent warm-up. You see, I had found that there were many times that I didn't have the opportunity to warm up before the performance. After a sound check, there was too much downtime before the actual downbeat, in between songs, sometimes even in between measures. And you could be in an environment, whether it's a nightclub or a symphony orchestra, a church, for example. You may have a sound check at 8 o'clock and the service doesn't start until 9 o'clock, so you've got an hour worth of downtime where the sanctuary is filling up, the congregation are coming into the sanctuary, and you can't be in a corner playing a brass instrument and disturbing the atmosphere. So with the BuzzzMaster, you can actually go backstage or in a hallway or a foyer somewhere, because it's portable. It doesn't have to be attached to your instrument, and because it gives you the same exact resistance that your instrument does, you don't have to reset your chops, reset your embouchure once you actually start to play. You know, there's been different products throughout the years that are similar in theory, but yet not exactly the same. You see, what makes the BuzzzMaster different is that it's portable, so it doesn't have to be attached to your instrument, and you can warm up anywhere, anytime without your horn. Now, there's been a few devices out there that, one, for example, you have to attach it to your lead pipe. And the problem with that is that we don't play over here. We need to be as natural as possible when we warm up, so that when we get to our horn, we're set, ready to go. We play centered. And on this particular device, when you blow into it, the air actually escapes sideways. That's unnatural. We play centered. So what the BuzzzMaster forces you to do is it takes your air, it centers it, it gives you a complete round sound, so there's no pinched embouchure, and it sets it straight and sends it right to your lead pipe. And if you notice, the BuzzzMaster is actually like the receiver of your horn. So not only are you physically set up, ready to play, but you're also psychologically set up and ready to play. You can warm up anywhere, anytime without your horn. You see, whether you're a beginner or a professional, the BuzzzMaster works for all ages. And for example, I mean, in marching bands, you can go down in the field and rehearse, but then there's a time that you're going to have some downtime before you actually start to play. You can warm up in between. Drum and bugle corps, orchestras. The military likes it because they have what they call accident prevention. They can't take out their instrument on the buses, and so now you can have your BuzzzMaster ready on the bus so they can be warming up before they get there. The wonderful part about it is that another example is high school students. You're really not allowed to take your tuba home, and so you really can't have a chance to practice your instrument until you get to school. But you get to school and you go to class, and the bell rings and you go down the hallway, you walk into the band room and you start playing. You don't have the opportunity to warm up. Whatever instrument it is, now you can, because whether you're walking down the hall, whether you're in your car, whatever you're doing, now you have the opportunity to warm up without your horn, because the BuzzzMaster gives you the same resistance your horn does without the horn. If you're a brass player, a beginner, an advanced player, a cornet player, a tuba player, you're going to love the BuzzzMaster. And again, as I said earlier, when using the BuzzzMaster, you use your own mouthpiece because you want to stay as natural as possible. And it's a warm-up tool. It's not a range builder. It's not for anything else. It's a warm-up device, and it's an embouchure formation tool. And so you put your own mouthpiece in it, and you buzz. You want to buzz long tones, whole tones, easy intervals, something low, slow, and easy before you actually jump into playing your instrument. So let me give you an example. Just you buzz into it like you would your instrument. And like a warm-up, you want to rest in between. What that's doing is that's giving me the same resistance my trumpet does, my horn does, without my instrument. So now, again, I can be anywhere, anytime. And it's very simple. Just insert your mouthpiece, do some interval studies. It's also great for ear training because if you hit a tuning note on the piano, you can do ear training by doing your arpeggios and your different intervals. BuzzzMaster is available for all brass instruments: trumpet, cornet, French horn, flugelhorn, bass trombone, tenor trombone, and tuba shanks. With the BuzzzMaster, you're fresh and ready at all times. You can warm up without your horn. BuzzzMaster by David O'Neill.